Hey, welcome to the Press Box Chronicles with Jeff Pearlman. Hey, welcome to the Press Box Chronicles with Jeff Pearlman, the show where a cranky middle-aged sports writer, that is me, who has seen it all, takes you behind the scenes and into the stories. I'm your host, Jeff Pearlman. And today, we're going to talk about one of the great hypotheticals in modern basketball. Something that legitimately not only could have happened, but probably should have happened if people were sane and not easily intimidated and thinking wisely about their basketball teams. And that is how the New Jersey Nets, now the Brooklyn Nets, should have wound up with Kobe Bryant instead of the Los Angeles Lakers. And basically, we're going back to the 1996 NBA draft. And this is one of the great drafts in modern history, maybe the greatest draft of all time. You're talking about Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Peja Stojakovic, on and on and on. Marcus Camby, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen. It's just a who's who of guys who went on to do great things and Hall of Famers. And in this draft, you had two high school kids who were going to be picked. You had Jermaine O'Neal out of South Carolina, and you had Kobe Bryant out of Pennsylvania. And heading into the draft, there was a lot of uncertainty about this. 1 year earlier, Kevin Garnett was drafted by the Timberwolves, went very high, clearly was a great pick by the Wolves, but you just didn't know what you were going to get. You never knew what you were going to get out of a high schooler because you could scout them all you want. You could go to camps. They're still playing against high schoolers. And it's hard to gauge how a guy is going to be, how that translates to the NBA. So that's where we were left entering June 26th. The 96 draft, which took place in New Jersey at the Meadowlands Arena. And people wondering, what do we do about this kid out of Pennsylvania named Kobe Bean Bryant? So it's 1996. And we have one of the great drafts of all time. And there's one team picking fairly high that has its eyes on Kobe Bryant. And that team is the New Jersey Nets. And the New Jersey Nets have a GM, a really good general manager named John Nash. And they have a brand new coach, John Calipari, who you just might have heard of. And at the time, John Calipari was a young guy. He was a brash guy. He'd been hired away from UMass. He was making $3 million a year. He had a 5-year guaranteed contract. And Cal was walking into a mess. The New Jersey Nets were just a shit show of mediocrity, of dysfunction. The year before, they'd gone 30-52. Sean Bradley was probably their centerpiece, which is never a good thing. They had a young Jason Williams as a forward, but just coming out of being an alcoholic. And, you know, they had guys like Khalid Reeves and Ed O'Bannon, and they just weren't much. And they're entering this draft and they're having very serious conversation about taking this kid, Kobe Bryant. And the conversation basically goes like this. Kobe Bryant is the best player in this draft. We actually believe that. Maybe there's Iverson, but otherwise it's Kobe Bryant. And that's a Nets. Kobe Bryant is the best player in this draft. But do we want a high schooler to be thrown into our shit show? Do we think a high schooler can develop surrounded by so much dysfunction, surrounded by a lot of selfish, me first, half-hearted, one-footed veterans, guys who don't really want to be here? Can we take a high schooler and not ruin him? And the ultimate consensus in the Nets front office is yes, we can do this. This guy, Kobe, is going to be awesome. And the Nets wind up working out Kobe Bryant leading up to the draft 4 different times. And they bring him to New Jersey and they fucking love him. At one point, Ed O'Bannon had been their number 1 pick the year before out of UCLA. And at one point, they have Kobe and Ed O'Bannon and another former first-round pick, Khalid Reeves, play each other in one-on-one games. And Kobe just lights them up. He just destroys them. He comes back another time, plays against an assistant coach, lights him up. He's doing things athletically nobody's ever seen before. And by the end of these workouts, John Nash, the GM, is saying to Cal, holy shit, this is a Jordan-esque talent. This is no joke. This is Jordan-esque talent. And Cal is like, yeah, well, we need to take this guy. Let's take this guy. But there are problems. Kobe Bryant, heading into the draft, part of his decision to head to the draft instead of going to Duke, where he was going to go to college, is that Adidas is offering him a deal, a big deal. And in the future, we look back, his sneakers were the ugliest freaking sneakers of all time. The Adidas that Kobe Bryant wound up wearing and endorsing early on were laughably ugly. But it was exciting for him. He had the sneaker deal, and his agent was Arn Tellem. And Tellem was a very famous agent, a very well-regarded agent. As part of the Adidas deal, as part of making this kid not just a kid, but a national figure, there was nothing worse to Arn Tellem than having Kobe Bryant playing in half-empty Meadowlands Arena for the shitty Nets. And Arn Tellem did something that you're kind of not supposed to do, kind of can do as an agent. He actually called Jerry West. And Jerry West at the time was the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Lakers did not have a high first-round pick. They were picking 24th in the draft. But Arn Tellem is like, do me a favor and work out Kobe Bryant. And Jerry West is like, why do we want to work out Kobe Bryant? He's not going to be there for us. And Arn Tellem was like, just please work him out. See what you think. Bring him in. So the Lakers bring Kobe Bryant in. All right, fine, we'll work him out, but he's never going to wind up to us. And Kobe Bryant comes to LA the same day as another prospect, Dante Jones out of Mississippi State. Dante Jones is a legit first-round talent. And Jerry West works out Dante Jones and Kobe Bryant together. And Kobe Bryant just wipes the absolute floor with Dante Jones. It's not even close. It is embarrassing. And Jerry West is like, damn, this kid has something going on. He says, can we bring him back for a second workout? Sure. One of the Lakers' assistants at the time was Michael Cooper, who now is 40, but is one of the great Lakers of all time. And Michael Cooper, back in the day, was known as the guy you put on Larry Bird, the guy you put on Dr. J, a shutdown, lockdown defensive player. Well, now Jerry West has Kobe Bryant and Michael Cooper play one-on-one. And Kobe Bryant just lights Michael Cooper up. And afterwards, Michael Cooper told me, I wrote a book about this called Three Ring Circus, about the Shaq Kobe era. And Michael Cooper told me I'd never experienced anything like this. He just destroyed me. And this was a high school kid. Well, now Jerry West is like, I kind of like this Kobe Bryant. What can we do? And the Lakers reach out to the Nets and they say, we will give you Vlade Divac, our center, a really good center, a top shelf center for the 8th pick in the draft. And then the Nets are like, no, we don't want Vlade Divac. We're not at a point where we need a veteran center. We need an infusion of young talent. So Jerry West is frustrated. And what happens is Arn Tellem, Kobe's agent, comes up with an idea. He basically calls John Nash, the GM of the Nets, and he calls John Calipari, the coach of the Nets, and he says to these two guys, Kobe doesn't want to play with you. Kobe will not sign with you. Kobe wants to be away from his parents. Now, it's funny because a couple of days before this call, John Calipari and John Nash had dinner with Kobe Bryant's parents, Joe and Pam Bryant, and they said, we'd love Kobe to play in New Jersey. But now they're getting a call from the agent. He's like, Kobe doesn't want to play for you guys. He won't sign with you. He'll play in Europe instead. And John Nash, veteran general manager, he's in his 40s at the time. He says to Cal, this is bullshit. They're just bluffing. They're just bluffing. This is ridiculous. And Calipari is like, I don't know. I can't have my first draft pick not sign with us. And John Nash is like, Cal, there's no way he's not going to play in the NBA. You think this 18-year-old kid is going to go to Europe? And Cal's like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. Now, a second thing happens, which is this. If the Nets don't take Kobe, the guy they want is a Villanova swingman named Kerry Kittles, a really, really good player, an All-American out of Villanova. And David Falk represents Kerry Kittles. And Kerry Kittles is a local kid. And Kerry Kittles desperately wants to be drafted by the Nets. And David Falk, at the same time Arn Tellem is calling John Calipari and saying, Kobe won't sign with you, David Falk, unrelated, calls John Calipari and says, if you don't select Kerry Kittles, if he's available at number 8, I will never have any of my clients consider the Nets as a free agent destination. And Calipari is like, oh my God. And he says to John Nash, John, we have to take Kerry Kittles because we need Falk clients. He's a huge agent. And John Nash is like, seriously, calm the fuck down. They're just bluffing you. They're playing you because you're a young coach. You think no one's ever going to consider our money? You think Kobe Bryant isn't going to sign? Are you insane? And Calipari is freaking out. And what happens next is just fascinating. So all of this goes down, and John Nash, who's now kind of babysitting John Calipari, has these meetings with him in private. And he's like, Cal, we need to take Kobe Bryant. This guy's the best player we're going to get. Let's take him. And Cal's like, okay, we'll take him. And John Nash is like, we're good, we're good. Cal's like, we're good, we'll take Kobe Bryant. Well, now the draft is June 26th, and the Nets front office has a dinner before the draft, or like a lunch before the draft. And they're going to announce their plans just to the staff. And John Calipari stands up and he says, all right, guys, here's the deal. And I should mention, John Calipari, as part of his contract, had final personnel say. So while John Nash was a general manager, and while John Calipari respected John Nash, at the end of the day, Calipari had final say on personnel. And Calipari stands up and he says, guys, here's what we're going to do. If Kerry Kittles is available at number 8, we're taking Kerry Kittles. And if he's not there, we're taking Kobe Bryant. And John Nash just slinks down in his chair. And he's like, fuck. Because he knows Kerry Kittles is going to be available. Now, meanwhile, the Lakers are working the phones. And they have a deal in place. As long as the Nets don't draft Kobe Bryant, they have a deal in place with the Charlotte Hornets, who have a pick a few slots after. We will send you Vlade Divac for the pick. And the Hornets are all in because the Hornets are a pretty good team. And they see Vlade as kind of the final piece to maybe being a championship contender. Well, in LA, they're watching the draft. And in New Jersey, they're at the draft. And it comes up to the number 8 pick in the draft. And David Stern, the commissioner, walks to the stage. And he says, with the number 8 pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the New Jersey Nets select Kerry Kittles. And John Nash, the GM of the Nets, wants to punch himself in the face. But in Los Angeles, Jerry West is like, oh, yeah. And he watches the picks after, and nobody takes Kobe Bryant. And the Hornets come, and they draft Kobe Bryant. And the swap is made where Vlade goes to Charlotte, and the rights to Kobe Bryant go to the Lakers. And I'm telling you, it changes the course of NBA history. I mean, think of it this way, what's really interesting. A couple of years later, the New Jersey Nets got really good. And the Nets, Kerry Kittles was a good NBA player. Don't get me wrong. Like Kerry Kittles, had Kobe Bryant not been there, Kerry Kittles at number 8 is a pretty good pick. He was a very solid NBA scorer, really good defensive player. And the Nets got good really quick, basically after Cal left. And you got the Keith Van Horn Nets, the Kenyon Martin Nets. You have the Nets with Kerry Kittles, with Jason Kidd. And you put a Kobe Bryant on that team, and they're awesome. Meanwhile, the Lakers without Kobe Bryant, with Vlade, if they have Vlade, they're not getting Shaq. They're nowhere in the same stratosphere. They're basically the Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, Vlade Lakers. And nothing happens. And maybe we're talking about the Nets dynasty. Now, on the other hand, maybe Kobe Bryant comes, and maybe John Calipari's fears are correct. Maybe all those shitheads on the Nets bring Kobe Bryant down, and he just becomes a maligner and indifferent and doesn't really care. And he's Reggie Theus. He's Tony Campbell. He's a really good scorer, but a forgettable guy. So that little moment, that decision, John Calipari being terrified, Arm Tellem reaching out to the Lakers, David Falk calling up and threatening, John Nash resigned to his fate in life, changed the course of NBA history. And we talk about Kobe Bryant now as this Lord of basketball in many ways because of the amazing circumstances that brought him to Los Angeles. That is a wrap for this episode of Press Box Chronicles with Jeff Pearlman. Please leave a comment below on what stories you'd like to hear more about, or if there's a sports figure you want to learn about, please let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok at Jeff Pearlman Author and on Bluesky at Jeff Pearlman. Thank you so much for diving behind the scenes and digging into the story. We will see you next time on Press Box Chronicles.